welcome. Welcome to another episode. Thanks for tuning in to Be Clay. So, I appreciate you being here. Y'all know that this is the episode that we are diving into 2024. I just got finished recording the overview of 2023, so we're going to go right into it. So I want to really just a little small recap of 2023. Basically, 2023 was understanding that, it basically was a controlled demolition of my false identity, right? 2023 really was me a demolition, okay, of my false identity of who I thought Elisa was. I literally had to ask the question, who is Elisa? And let me speak on the fact that as I'm looking back, and I hope and pray that you guys are really, this is helping you guys, because again, when I hear about, I think a little bit more now to some degree, but when people talk about they healed and some things, you don't always get the raw truth of what, like where, the beginnings and the ends and the middle parts of, even the thought patterns. And I can't even really articulate every thought pattern that was going through me for real. I've been trying to find the words, but it's not working. So, but I hope that you're getting the gist of what I'm saying in this healing seasons that I was the journey that I was in throughout these last 3 years. We'll say 3 years and a half, because now it's June of 2026. So understanding, first I had to understand in 2023 that there's level to this, but what I did not really understand was there was levels to not just the healing as a whole, but there was levels to each part of who I am that makes up this whole person. So I had to be healing in the part of the person of Elisa and her personality, her identity, and then there was healing in my relationships, right? The position I hold in each part of the relationship. Then I had to heal in my calling as a woman of God. Like had to be healing in each part, and it could not be done at the same time. And there was different levels to even that, every area. And so I'm saying that because as I'm looking back, I'm realizing that especially within that latter part of each year, and where I was and the extensive, process that I was going through, or, that it really prepared me immediately for the next level of my healing beginning that January, okay? And I'm saying that because in this end of the 2023, and I told you December 31st is when the Lord said to me, because for some reason I thought since I don't know who this person is, you must don't know who this person is either. And I was struggling with the identity of who I am, not just who I am with my identity as far as in my natural sense, but my identity and the calling that God actually have on my life. Like I literally was sitting up here like, no, God, I'm not this person anymore. I'm not as here. I'm just one who just laid back and this and the other. And the Lord would say, by all means, no, you're not. That's not who I created you to be. I'm like, I ain't created you to be that. And I'm like, yes, you did. Right. So, I told you every area I was up here back and forth for God, like that's not who I am. And so there were things that was going on, things that he was showing me that I was just like, no, okay, like that's not really you talking. So I don't know what you're talking about. And that's why he literally had to tell me, Elisa, I do hear you. That, even the prayers that you pray for your mother, that's because I heard your prayers. And not saying that no one else didn't pray. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is he was just letting me know that he heard me specifically as well. And so, And so now we're starting in January. Now we're in January, and I told y'all that January is my mother's consecration. So I'm consecrating. And in this month of consecration, the Lord was like, all right, Lisa, it's going to be a lot. basically. And let's it's going to be something. But again, we went through an extensive healing and process of demolition of who I thought I was in 2023, which we are testing it literally, like from day one of January of 2024. And I actually really had to relearn his voice. And so he was like, by him saying what he said to me on December 31st, okay, now I understand this is his real voice. We cried, we boo-hooed, we kept it moving, and okay, here we are. So he like, all right, Lisa, I'm letting you know that, okay, we in here. So January was me relearning his voice. Okay, Elisa, stop fighting that. This, God don't hear you. This, He's not really talking to you. All these different things. Because now we're dealing with not just my identity, but my identity and my calling, like who I really am in God. And so there was a lot of things that he was showing me and he was saying, and even the relationships. This is why I had you go through this. This I had you go through that to catapult you, to prepare you for this part. And it was something that happened, and after my, Jesus God, right after my their consecration, bam, boom, something happened. I'm like, oh no, wait a minute. Here we go again. The Lord said, that's not what we do. Remember, we throwing that old part. So that's going. Don't you even dare get to that point. Okay, fine. So I didn't. He gave me specific instructions. I followed those instructions. And it wasn't easy because at this time, remember I told you that you'll have to have someone there to help you through this process. Try to do this alone. It's not that easy. Okay. Find someone. And, for those who are in God, ask him, God, please show me who I have. He may have been showing you and you ain't been listening, but who you have that's going to help you through this healing process, because they're going to push you. They're going to be like your lifeline. And so I was disconnected at this point from a lifeline, and I was a little scared because I'm like, wait a minute. And here I go again, people leaving me. They say things. Seems like, no one left you. It's just that you're just going to be separate for a little bit. But you're going to reconnect. And so I'm like, okay, God. So I was waiting for the reconnection of my lifeline because this is a lot. And so I'm waiting. And as I'm waiting, and then eventually we reconnected. We reconnected in the middle of February. Okay, so now we're in February. We reconnected. And I gotta catch them all up of everything that's happened so far and everything else. Here we are. So now I'm good. I'm like, our God, we good. Like, because I wasn't in that place of like, oh my God, like where I was fighting him and scared. Now it's like, okay, I'm understanding that that old me of who I thought I was really came from this person, that person, or this happened and that happened, my dad leaving, all these different things. Okay, so now I'm ready. I'm ready to move. I'm ready to really, because I always wanted that God to get the return on his investment. I know that he put a lot in me and I was ready. I wanted to finally carry it out. I didn't want to continue to be a potential. People look at me, oh my God, God got a great call in your life. And everybody keeps saying that. And I know it, but I wasn't walking in it. And I was tired of not walking in it. And I can't walk in it with all this stuff and baggage. So I'm like, all right, God, we cleaned up enough that I can at least do something. Maybe not go into it until totality, but enough where I'm still walking in some way from where I am now. And God said, yeah, you are. You're going to do it. You're going to start doing some things this year. But I need to let you know, everything you put your hands to this year is going to fail. It's designed for you to fail. What? Come on, God. I already feel like a failure. Like that's one of the biggest the biggest thing that I say to you is that, God, I feel like I'm a failure because I know that I feel like I should be further along in you than I am. I feel like I should be doing way more as far as ministry and different things like this. I feel like I should just be doing more. And now you telling me that I'm going to fail on purpose? Like, what is this? But he said, you're going to fail because I have to teach you and there's no other way. So it's like basically in school, you ever take a test and you fail or the whole class fail. And so now you get the teacher, y'all go through a whole class of each problem and what's the real problem. And now you got this cheat sheet and you go and take the test again. But you don't just take the test. When you take the test again, you actually have the blueprint of how not to fail the next time, because you have went through each problem now and the teacher showed you how you got it wrong and how to obtain the right answer. So now when you retake the test, you should pass. You should, if you study, right? Let's be honest. We didn't always study that cheat sheet. We didn't always study that study guide of the wrong, why we got the wrong answer. So we still do not pass the test afterwards. We think we could just go off of our memory or whatever we did. So, but now if I study, then I should pass the test after again. So I'm like, okay. And I did, you guys, throughout this year. This is why for this 2024, to be honest, this cannot be just one. I can't just do the first 6 months in one episode, because there's a lot to unpack in 2024. Here we are again. I'm reconnecting with my lifeline, so it's not as bad, because but at this because we at the place there where we at a different level of this healing where it's like, all right, I understand that a lot of these things that I thought I was is really not me. And it was based on this person, that person, whatever. So we still even at that point, we just had a different understanding of where everything came from, right? So now that's January, that's February. We are in March. Now here, baby, let's get into this. Ooh, Jesus. Okay. So we're in March. And, it's not bad in the beginning of March. But this is, wow, isn't that something? The third month changed my life. I think it's like really end of March or April. To be honest with you, I'm not really trying to think. It's around this time frame. But with all that being said, this changed my life for sure. I'm telling you right now. So now before I start, let me tell you something. Be Simone and Megan Ashley. If y'all ever hear this, which I don't know if it's ever gets to your ears, but if you do, if it somehow falls on your lap or in your little feed or whatever the case may be, and you hear me, I want you to absolutely know that I love you guys so much, and I'm telling you, I love you guys, okay? I love you guys. I love for sure. And I understand the separation and all of these things. And I'm not really going to get into that. But I love you guys. And I thank God for you guys. And I'm just continuing to pray that God continue to use you and that you continue to go, in him like never before, each and every single day. And yes, and to God be the glory. Now, let's talk about this. Now, I love Know For Sure because I love B. Simone and Megan Ashley. I love them two together. I love their, one thing I loved about Know For Sure, the Know For Sure podcast was their, what's her looking for? Their friendship. I did like how, I just love their podcast because I don't know how they articulate, but it just was different than any other podcast. In who B. Simone was and who Megan Ashley was, and their personalities and the way it just it just worked because you saw two different sides. You seen one who's always in God, and you said, one, I'm in God, but God is working on me. And one thing I loved was the transparency. I love the transparency, and it's like, this is what we need, right? We need transparency, and that's what I loved. Like, I'm not all the way there, but we're trying to get there, and it is what it is, right? This is who I am, but God is really working. And even since they've been doing their solo things, I'm seeing the difference, even how God is dealing with both of them. And I love both of them. Okay. So here we are where I used to always do, watch No For Sure. But after a while, life getting away, and you gotta go back to the old episodes because you are so far behind, right? And so I'm binging No For Sure on YouTube. One day I'm binging No For Sure on YouTube, and I know these are old ones, but it's okay. But I have to, binge on it. And my daughter comes in. It was like, yeah, they broke up. Who broke up? Like, I'm definitely late. I don't know how I even see nothing on my feeds or nothing like that. But I'm very late to this party. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, who broke up? And she was like, yeah, they broke up. I'm like, what? So now I had to stop that episode, right? I don't remember what episode I actually was watching, but I had to stop that episode and try to figure out what in the world has happened to these are my girls. Like, what's happened? And I go, so now I was watching YouTube, but now I have to go to YouTube University, right? Even though it's the same thing, but now we at YouTube University. And I look up, Megan's, B. Simone and breakup, and all these videos popped up. And there's one particular person that came up that I watched as they, and this was God. I tell you, God he be literally like he literally be basically setting you up. Okay. He literally be setting you up. So this is, what is it? Big Black Book. Yeah. So little Black Book. Okay. There it goes. So this is a YouTuber. The channel is called Little Black Book. And this episode, no, I'm sorry. This YouTuber, first of all, although I'm sure it was very painful for I'm sure it was very painful for B. Simone and Megan Ashley, even for them separately. However, this literally saved my life, you guys. Okay. It literally saved my life. And to be honest, I think in some ways it saved your life as well, but it really saved my life. And I'm going to tell y'all why. So understanding, so they broke up, and what caught my eye to this YouTuber, or me to start watching these series of videos, because he did like a 5 or 6 part series on their breakup, and then like he did some new ones after this, but this time it was on like 5 or 6 videos that he, like part 1, part 3, whatever like that. He did 6 parts, and he was breaking down why they broke up. What caught my eyes was like the real reason why they broke up. And so I'm thinking like he's gonna really get into like whatever the reasons was, whatever it was, whatever, like, she sucked my boyfriend. I don't know, something. I don't know, whatever. Something. I mean, not like that, but, go into some real stuff. What I did not understand was he really was going into the attachment theory. And this attachment theory, that when he was really breaking down of these attachment theories, I saw myself. And I literally, like, as he went into like, basically like B. Simone is basically the avoidant, and the avoidant attachment, and Megan Ashley is basically the anxious attachment. He breaks down how and like he relates to B. Simone. So because he's an avoidant, so he really was saying like, this is why she did and this is why. And he broke down different episodes and what was going on in different episodes and why they was feeling this and that and the other, and broke down like, well, he B. Simone is doing this because as an avoidant, you do this and you do that, and this is your behavior and this is how your thought process is. But then as Megan Ashley, who's the anxious attachment, this is your thought process, and they maybe not understanding who they are. So this is what made it happen, because usually, although the avoidant and the anxious are basically are the opposite of each other, they find each other in the same like in multiple relationships. Like always find each other in a relationship. The avoidant always find themselves in a relationship with the anxious. And in reality, unless you're I guess strong, sorry you guys, if I hear this car coming through, I'm sorry. Unless you're strong enough, it's going to take a lot of work if you want the relationship to work most times. But in reality, and this is not just from what he was saying, but as what he was saying, and then I went and did some more research, then the anxious and avoidant, they actually usually destroy each other, right? So let's back up, okay? So, I'm telling you, I don't want to cry, but I bawled. When I tell you that I bawled. I was listening and he was just explaining. I think I listened to like three parts. I think I was able to listen to 3 parts and I bawled because literally the first one that I watched, I believe, was part 3. I actually had to go find part 1 and 2 and then come back to part 3 so that I can, as I was going in order. And I'm telling you, I bawled. I went to sleep crying. I woke up crying. I went to work crying. I wiped my eyes, went back into my car crying. Like I was just crying for a whole day. Then I came home. I listened to part 4, 5, and 6 or whatever how many was left in the series. I was just bawling. But the tears were like, oh my God, I did not believe, like it really hit me. I really understood that this is why I'm like this. This is like, remember we talked about the demolition of the fear, the false identity. But now I'm understanding where this come from. Like why I was thinking the way I was thinking, the thought process and everything because of these attachments. And so it was like, oh my God. Then I realized that there's something called secure attachment. And I was just like, because I dive deep now. Now I'm in youth university. Now I know what to look for. Now I know what to try to whatever. And I just found other people that was showing me and telling me, all the attachment theories, not just the anxious and avoidant, but then I learned that it's actually another one called disorganized, which I am. Because when I was listening to the Little Black Book and the relationship of Megan Ashley and B. Simone really was like the epitome, like basically for another relationship and that I have. And it really I was beginning to understand my part in that relationship and why I do and say and all these things and why the responses that I was getting from them. And I realized that I was in the anxious in that relationship and they were the avoidant in that relationship. And so this explains a whole lot of why the relationship was going it did and was and the way they was going. But as I was really paying attention in other relationships, I was the avoidant. And so I was like, okay, but we're going to talk about this one, but I knew that I was like, but in these everyone, then I learned, but because I started going into more and about all the attachment theories for all of them, because in one of the videos that Little Black Book had, he basically had some excerpts for another video of a person who really was breaking down what avoiding is and different things like that. So I found her, and she began to break down all the attachment theories, and I realized that I am anxious avoidant, or fearful avoidant, they call it, as well as disorganized. I actually like the disorganized. They changed it from disorganized. It was disorganized when I looked at it at that time, but they changed it because people don't like that type of label. But that to me is because that explains how my brain is, and why it was like I'm always in a fight-flight mode all the time. It's basically, it's crazy. So let me stop here and explain, if you've never heard attachment theories, okay? So the anxious attachment theory is basically a person who has a fear of abandonment. That person, that codependency, who always want to people please and save you, and they want to do everything for you. So, and it's mainly because if you need me, then you won't leave me, basically, right? So I'm going to do everything I can for you because, that's like, you have to be able to rely on me. I have to be trustworthy. I have to be, you have to be able to depend upon me, because then you won't leave me. You won't abandon me. You'll do everything you can in your power just so this person or these people will not leave you. Okay. And you are act to the ultimate. I mean, you go beyond and beyond. Right. That's where you find your identity. You find your identity in your service, how well you do, and you provide your services for everybody. Okay. And it's exhausting. Okay. Because you feel like you have to earn their love. Okay. You have to earn, oh God, ooh, Jesus, thank you, God. So I'm telling you, this is why I was bawling, because I'm like, oh my God. Then you got the avoidant attachment, right? Now you have the fear of intimacy, meaning because for the most part, you have developed that the only person that you really can depend upon is yourself, right? So you have this mentality that I'm going to leave you first, or I'm going to push you away first so that you won't basically abandon me. I'm already safe. And you just basically hiding to survive, right? Like I'm the only safe choice. I'm the only safe person. So if somebody try to get too close, you're like, wait a minute, hold the phone. Like, no. And then you start to back up, right? And the way I did this, what I was doing was, and I'm gonna really get into this, but it was more so like I have to savor. I will leave first. Like I will back up. And I'm telling you, if you really know me, if people really know me, and if you really pay attention, you will realize, okay, in my relationship with her, this explains why she did this, she did that. Because, and sometimes at one point, I'm like, yeah, let's go, let's be, yeah, all right. And then another point, I'm like, oh, I start to back away. And they'll be like, Elisa, what happened? Where are you? Like, where you go? Like, well, and I'm like, huh? They're like, Elisa, and I'm like, huh? And then you'll be calling me, and I'm like, huh, okay, all right, okay. Whatever you say, they're like, call me, yeah, okay, and I won't call you, like, because at that point now I'm avoiding you, right? And I'm backing away because in my mind, listen, this is not real. Nobody really wants to be around you. Nobody really care about you like that. So and this is the way that I was, basically protecting myself, and it's like, so I'm gonna leave you before you leave me. That was basically, I need to savor this version of our relationship before you really realize that you're really not good enough and I'm leaving you, right? That was me. So this disorganized person is both. It's basically both. And at the same time, it's exhausting. God. Basically having both your feet on the gas and the brake at the same time, like every day. So I crave closeness, but then closeness feels terrifying. So I just go into this very emotional, constant overload all the time, like literally all the time. So it's exhausting. So I was learning. I did a deep dive. I'm telling you, I did a deep dive. Now, my sister, she was a psychologist, and I called her, like, girl, did you know about da 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 da? And she was like, yeah, I learned about it in class. I was like, are you serious? Like, you learned about this and you still here? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, I mean, I know that was wrong probably, but we know by now that's just who I am. I was like, I'm up here bawling in tears. Like, I can't stay here. Like, I gotta be secure tomorrow. Like, I need to be secure like yesterday. Like, when I tell you to save my life, I was like, I got it now. This was like April, because I'm running around here. Like, I'm telling everybody, like, I got it now. I got it now. Like, I get it. I get it. Like, I'm understanding where I am. I'm understanding what's my behaviors. I'm understanding where it comes from, the root of it, and this, that, and the other. And we got to get secure by tomorrow. I literally, actually, the reason why eventually I did a podcast, but because at first I really wanted to do, because I already had a YouTube channel started a while ago. We got 1 episode, 2 episodes, whatever you want to call it. And then I never finished it. I actually recorded a lot of content. We never edited and never uploaded it. So I started this YouTube channel around like, I don't know, 2018 or something like that. So, or something like that, or 2020. Whatever. I started it. We got content. We never uploaded. So now I'm going to go back to my YouTube channel, and I'm going to, because I wanted to give the journey of understanding these attachment theories and how to be, because my journey of how to be secure in God. Right? Like, we're going to get secure, but we're going to get secure in Him. Because understanding, and actually, Little Black Book, one of the parts, I can't tell you which part right now, we're not going to lie. So in one of the parts, he really, because now we have to understand that Know For Sure, who don't know B. Simone and Megan Ashley, and Know For Sure, they both had 2 different podcasts, and I still listen to both of them. I love both podcasts. I love it. I love both of them. So, and at this point, did she start hers already when I was in this? Did she already start her podcast? I think she, right? She started her podcast already. Yes, I think she started her podcast already. I think. Whatever. But anyway, but Megan Ashley had hers. So with all that being said, okay, but one of the episodes of Little Black Book, the one who was the introduction for me, he talked about, because B. Simone and Megan Ashley are, saved, they're believers. And so he used the, basically, like, because of our attachment theories and who we are, because of our attachment style, right? The attachment that we have, it affects our relationship with God. Bloom. That's why I tell you, I was bawling. Okay. I think I watched this that first night, which really made me like, this is why when you tell me stuff, I don't believe you. Like this, when I say I was bawling, no wonder I can't understand who I am. Like I'm talking about the ugly tears. You be telling me this and I just don't believe you. And I'm so sorry. Like, I was bawling. And now, because this video right here this is how we approach God. So when he desires to be intimate with us, and I'm like, no, God, you don't want me. Like, no, God, I'm this and I'm that and this and... Woo, Jesus, right? Okay. And then, like, I got to do this, I got to do that. If I don't do this, I got to do that. If I don't do this wrong, if I keep failing, then you're not going to love me. You're going to leave me, God. But he said, Lisa, I didn't leave you yet. Like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, yes, I know, but you're going to. Like, this is how. So now, ooh, Jesus. So all of these things, like this is why I had to get secure, not just because my babies, because I was like, oh my God, now, I mean, I'm telling you, I went in. I was like, Mom, I started looking at my mom and my dad and like, no wonder, because this is what they are, this is what this are, this is why they did this is why they say that, and this and the other. So they raised me in this thing. So if I better get it together, because I have raised my kids under disorganized, and we gotta be secure. Like I had a whole meeting with my kids crying, like, listen, I just found out that I was literally like, I was not playing, you guys. I'm trying to explain to you guys. I'm telling you, okay? This was the pivotal point of my healing right here. Like, in reality, this is not taking away from 2023, but this right here was the pivotal point of my healing, because everything was making sense now. All of that, those different things that I was like, this is really me. It wasn't me. This explains why I created these persons to survive. Like, what happened? Like, what is this? And I'm telling you, and it has been an ongoing process, an ongoing journey. I am almost there at being secure. I'm closer to secure than I was before. And so, but yeah, that's the first thing was I was supposed to do a YouTube channel. In my YouTube channel, I was supposed to do my journey of how to become secure in God, because there's a lot of videos of what is attachment theory, was it avoidant, how to there was many videos I'm sorry, you guys. My computer is dying. There's many videos on basically explaining which it was, at least at that time, it's way more now, it's 3 years behind it, but there was multiple videos basically explaining what is anxious attachment, what is avoidant attachment, why they always find each other, in relationships. I mean, they're not just talking about romantic relationships, but we're talking B. Simone and Megan Ashley were friends. So, and it explains, there was a lot of videos that explain why they find each other in relationships, why they seek out each other. At the same time, they are each other's basically like destruction, right? These relationships basically don't work, and all these different things, and why it doesn't work. There's a lot of videos on those things. And I can give y'all, if y'all ever ask, just right there, like, oh, show me, or you can look up things yourself. And I would give you the ones that really helped me out in so many aspects throughout these years. But there was a video of what secure looks like, but it didn't show me how to become secure. And if it was how to become secure, it was how to become secure from an anxious attachment. It was how to become secure from avoidant, but it wasn't having how secure from a disorganized person. And then even with once I learned about the disorganized, it was a very short clips of there was like small, I'm sorry, you guys, there were small parts of small parts of, like, when I learned about how a disorganized person think, it was from a YouTuber who really specializes in attachment styles and attachment theories, and he counsels couples and individuals as well, and all these things, especially because a lot of times you will see, as far as an avoidant attachment style, men were more of avoidant than women. With all that being said, I knew I needed to do a YouTube channel where it's like the journey of becoming from disorganized to secure in God. And this is it. Okay, this is it, you guys. This is the pivotal part. Okay, this is the pivotal part of my journey, because it was life-changing to me. I'm telling you, everyone knows me. I'm running around telling them, like I said, I went to my mama, like, Mama, I'm a disorganized, and and this, I'm not blaming you. It is what it is. And I got it from you. And I don't know. I'm sure that I probably hurt her feelings, and I get that, and I'm sorry, but it was just that, listen, at the end of the day, we have to understand, when we are not healed, as parents, we really we are, where do you think the kids get things from? Let me tell you something. My daughter, she tells me she's not going to prom. I'll get to that another time. But long story short, she tells me, oh, I don't want to go to prom because I'm being petty. Baby, please, where you think you got pettiness from? Me. I'm the master of petty. I tell you that. Every day I tell everybody, I'm petty. I'm not that nice. And I'm petty, okay? And she knows that I'm petty. Where do you think you get that from? We look and we understand that our kids get things from us, but we don't understand that they get the bad things from us. Like, we don't want to really admit to ourselves that they also get insecurities from us, that we pass those down to them, that we pass down anxieties to them. Like, we don't want to really admit that, but we do. We do. They learn this stuff from us. So I wasn't trying to, and I believe that she understood that. It was just that I've been struggling here. No one, not one person. No, I'm sorry. That's not lie. There was a person. There was people. And one main person, my lifeline. But for the most part, majority of people, I would say 99% of people in my life did not literally pay attention to me enough to realize how much I was struggling. It was, Elisa, be here for me. Do this for me. And even if they saw me struggle, okay, that's nice, but still be here for me. No one understood that I was literally tormented in my mind day in and day out. You're talking about exhaustion. I'm talking about feeling depleted. I'm talking about the agony, the pain, the torment, the defeat, like feeling defeated every day in and out. And I was going to church and I was getting, I have the moments where I'm on the floor and I'll come back like, okay, it's this time. And then I come back defeated. Why? This was it. This part right here was like, oh my God, that's what you was trying to tell me, God. That's what you was trying to show me. I didn't understand it. It was like, it was a eye opener. It's like, oh my God, like ding, ding, ding. Like literally, I felt like the light bulb, when they, in cartoons or whatever, you see the light bulb, like ding, like whatever. It went off because I was like, oh my God. So now I know how to approach you, God, and through this healing. Now I know how to come to you and approach you in prayer. God, I need help with this part. I need help with that part. This is where it came from. This is what this. Baby, we was ready. Now, we were ready. It wasn't easy, but we were ready. I had a different approach to my healing even at that moment because like that May, every May I go, to the bowling tournament thing, and we went to Chicago, and it was going to be, and even then, I'm telling you, because I went to Chicago, and again, we're going to come back to this because, again, like I told you, this is going to be like different parts, but multiple parts. We was in Chicago, and so at this point, everyone that knows me knew we about to be secure. So I knew that I had to go through little tests, little things in order for me to get secure. I knew that. And I was welcoming it. I was welcoming all these things because they had to challenge those core values, core wounds, the core wounds. It had to challenge those core wounds. And I didn't even understand the core wounds part yet. Actually, to be honest with you, I didn't really understand the core wounds until 2025. We'll get into that. But it had to challenge the roots of my behaviors, of why I think the way I think, the why I move the way I think, the way I, when I think that little old me part, and keep myself in this one bubble and go into the shell. Like I will come out and then I'm like, yay. And then I'll go right back into a shell. Like I was telling my pastor, like, yeah. She's like, and people been asking me like, Elisa, what is it? Why you keep going to the shell? Like, what's going on? Again, this is it. This is why. Like, this explain my shell. It is where I hide and I find safety, and because at least you're the only one that no one else understands you, and no one don't understand. And I wish I can explain to you, but I can't. Like, I'm telling you guys, this right here was it. It was it for me because of the fact that, what I'm trying to say, this was it just because of the fact that not just my natural relationships in my romantic relationships or friendships and family relationships, but the main relationship that means the most to me, and it's with God. Because I would sit there and my God would tell me things. My Father, my Abba, my source would tell me how much he loves me, tell me how much he cares for me, and I can't receive it. Why? Because my other father didn't. This and the other. Even the fact that I'm the one who pours into everybody, and it's not that many people that really can pour into me. It's literally literally maybe 1% that can pour into me in the same capacity or even a greater capacity that I pour into everyone else. And so if there is someone that can pour into me in the same capacity or a greater capacity as someone else, then they're going to leave me eventually, because my grandmother died. And that was my fault. That's when I didn't realize that was part of the development of this attachment. Both because my grandmother was able to pour me in a greater capacity that I pour into others spiritually wise, and that every other ones couldn't do it. And I felt like she did so much that I killed her. Because she had to pour so much in, because I don't think, maybe she knew she was about to die. I don't know, maybe the Lord told her, like, you're going to be here for so long. And she just gave me so much. And then she got sick and she died. And she left me alone. And so if you pour into me, eventually you're going to leave me. Whether you leave me on your own, because I need so much, and you're going to realize I think I'm too much, or you're going to die. So all these things, Jesus, I'm going to end here because, God, that's what I told you. Because this is it. So understanding that I wasn't just anxious and I was just avoiding, I was both. And it was literally destroying my relationships with my family, with myself, and with God, and my view of who God is. We want to stop here, and I'm going to say to you, think about it. What is, I'm not going to go into say, let's see if you are anxious. I'm telling you, you can go ahead and you can look at it. It might save your life too, because it did me. Like I said, be Simone and Megan Ashley. Oh my God, I love you together. If y'all never get back together, and or become like best friends again, or cordial friends again, okay, I don't because I'm not there, but I'm telling you right now, I thank God for both of y'all together and separately. And I really truly I be praying for you guys. I really do. I be praying that guys, I be praying for you guys, and not like, oh my God, I want y'all together. Because sometimes we just do things because people want us to be whatever. That's matter of fact, that's in the next episode. But I'm not even gonna get into that. But just continue on in Him. Just continue. I'm just leave that. Just continue on in Him, and understand that it was your pain, but it literally saved my life. It literally it saved my life. It did. It was your pain. I get it. But it literally saved my life. It literally saved your life. So it did. Jesus, it did. So I will actually even put in 2 episodes, not 2 episodes, I guess the first video and maybe the video with the relationship with God, so y'all can understand, look at it, and it may even open the eyes of why you approach God the way you approach God, and you don't believe him the way you believe him, why you think that he's this tyrant and not an Abba Father source, whatever the case may be, because you approach him in the same way and that you do his life as whichever one you may be, if you are, and if you are secure, if you're not secure, and everything. So until next time, we're going to pick back up where we are. It's going to be a part 2 of 2024, and that's where we at. So understand that you are loved, not just a little, but greatly. Not just today, but forever. Not just by some, but by the one who created you in his love. And he is not the only one. We love you unconditionally, and there's nothing, absolutely nothing that you can do to change that. See you later.
You are the potter, so I am a big clay, big clay.